Bam, what's going on, folks? Juvie the Kid here, as always, and this is the Dawn of Justice Batman vs Superman review. There will be no spoilers in this. At the end, I will include a little fan speculation, so if you don't want to hear that for any potential spoilers, then no worries. So what I'm going to do is pretty much just give my take on the characters for everybody, the story, and just everything else. Before I get into anything, if you get the chance to see this movie in 3D, definitely see it in 3D because it's some of the best 3D I've ever seen in a movie. It like when I was watching it, I was thinking like, holy shit, this looks amazing. Other than that, onto the characters. I'm going to start actually with Lex Luthor. Jesse Eisenberg plays Lex Luthor. A lot of people actually don't like his character. What I got from him is he's a man who is extremely obsessed with taking down Superman. Kind of sees Superman as like the ultimate like threat or whatever, and he's just completely bad, whatever. Maybe even more so than Batman, maybe. But I see him as a man who's obsessed, and when he's around other people and he's kind of trying to talk about like what he wants to do and wants to achieve, it's not that he's trying to be this quirky, funny guy. It's the fact that in a way he's trying to mask and keep like the full extent of his excitement and his obsession about his goal or whatever, like contained, and he's trying to, still talk about it without exploding about it in conversation with people. So I don't know. I liked his character. I liked the way he was portrayed. It was more of like a person who's really just kind of like been exposed to like Superman and this kind of force that he's dealing with, and grows obsessed with everything about Superman and wants to like destroy him or take him over. Who knows? Either way, Jesse Eisenberg, like, I don't think he was trying to be quirky and funny and stuff. I think it was definitely more of trying to contain his obsession and excitement while talking about certain things. Wonder Woman, played by the awesome Gal Gadot. I don't know, I guess apparently a lot of people thought she was too skinny and was bringing body types into it. I think that's dumb. I'll get into more in depth, I guess, why. But either way, that's just, I don't know why people want to nitpick about fucking actors and stuff, stupid shit like that. She did awesome as Diana Prince / Wonder Woman. The exchanges between her and Bruce Wayne, we see some of them in a little bit of it in the trailer. She holds her own as a character in the movie. During the movie, I was wondering about her. I was curious about her. I feel like in this movie of like already big names, she kind of holds her own as a big name. So 100%, I loved the way she was presented. I loved how she was introduced in the movie and kind of the role that she's taking on in the movie. It's definitely something that maybe if you're just trying to see the movie and you think it's all Batman, Superman, that's why you want to see it, you may find yourself actually being drawn to Wonder Woman as well. Henry Cavill, Clark Kent / Superman. Actually, I loved him in this role. I'm probably going to say that a lot. But he seemed very human as Superman and seemed very connectable. We have this godlike figure who is now, instead of, everyone loves him and thinks he's good, everyone's kind of, a lot of people are questioning, are you good or are you a threat to us? He's trying to deal with this, and it makes him a very, very human level. We see in the trailer, he has a clip where he's talking to his mom, be the hero or be none of it, or you know what I mean? You owe this world nothing. That reminds me of if a child and his mother have a good relationship, he's going to go to her to talk about his problems and what he's going through. So yes, he's this godlike figure and he's kind of like more powerful than other people, but he's still going to his mom to talk to her, and he's still trying to figure out who he is and what his purpose is. You know what I mean? Even with the conflict with Batman, we see a different light of him. We see him in kind of angry, very mature, determined Superman. So I loved it 100%. Bruce Wayne, Batman, played by Ben Affleck, best Batman we've seen on film. If you are a fan of the comics, if you are a fan of the Arkham games, like the fighting style in those games, you're going to love this Batman. Trust me. We see him in a more very mature, almost cynical. He's been Batman for like 20 years. He's dealt with tons of shit. He's been through a lot of, the Jokers, the Two-Faces, losing Robins. Who knows, really? It's fucking... We see the Batman a lot of people have wanted to for a long time. We see him kind of... I just can't go on. I can't say enough. But like, if you've always sat back and been like, man, like, why can't Batman use gadgets when he fights, or does use gadgets here or there? We get to see Batman use his gadgets. We see the gadgets in all of their fucking glory in this movie. I loved it. I said it again. See, it was crazy. The Arkham games, like the way he can use his gadgets during combat and stuff like that. Like, if you love that, you'll love this movie. You'll love Batman in this movie. Even just him, Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, is great on his own. That was a Bruce Wayne who, again, he's been through all this crazy shit, and it's taken its toll. Not just on the Batman, but on the man who is Batman. You know what I mean? It's so good. But we see him dealing with this new, again, like a new threat, and he's trying to figure out how to deal with it. And we see the determination and the anger that is kind of like built up over all of these years of dealing with all the bullshit he's dealt with it during being Batman. It's I feel like this is kind of like, this was almost like his breaking point. Like, he's so determined, and he's just like, he sees Superman as like his enemy or whatever, and it's great. Not even as Batman, like as Bruce Wayne, the way he's trying to conduct himself, and the way he does conduct himself with people is amazing, and the conversations. But then we see like the way he is a little bit in private, and that's amazing, because we see certain things that maybe have taken their toll on him. Did a good job without spoiling anything. Jeremy Irons as Alfred was fucking awesome too. He had he held his own as Alfred too. We get to see Alfred take on the hands-on role in as we've seen in the comics and everything else. We see him working on things in the cave. We see him communicating with Batman in the field. It's awesome. He has certain he has certain exchanges with Bruce Wayne, and they're awesome. I don't know. I don't want to say anything else and get carried away. But yeah, everybody was like, each character, everybody did great in the movie. Amy Adams and stuff as Lois Lane. She was good too. She had her parts. The way the story went and the way the story kind of unfolds or whatever, a lot of people are saying it might have been stretched out a bit. I don't actually think it was. I think they did it the proper way. I loved the plot twists. I loved there was tons of moments as a comic fan or Batman fan that you will take a deep breath in and be on the edge of your seat. If this next part, I guess, is the guide how not to be upset when you leave the theater. if you're expecting this to be like the Christian Bale Batman movies, you're going to be upset. This isn't. This is the most like comic accurate comic book movie that we've really had. It's not its own it's its own separate universe, but it takes a lot of inspiration from the comic stories themselves, and we get to see a lot of things that, for as comic fans, we've wanted for years. A lot of people were expecting more of like a Nolan-verse type movie, or I guess like one of the George Clooney, Val Kilmer, who knows. A lot of people say, oh, well, Batman doesn't use guns. Like a couple of different stories in the comics, Batman does use guns. When he was first introduced, he had a gun on him. So, you gotta open the mind a little bit for that, for sure. And another thing is, don't try to compare like movies and be like, well, he wasn't like this Batman, he wasn't like that Batman. Really, none of the Batmans were the same except for the Michael Keaton movies. It's they all felt different anyway. And the Christian Bale, but those are like the same like universes, you know what I mean, in their respective movie titles. But let's not forget, in the first Batman with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, Batman lets Joker die. Everybody still loves that movie. Everybody loves those characters. That's not Batman characteristically, you know what I mean? So just try not to compare it to like other movies. Don't expect a Christian Bale Batman or a Val Kilmer or whatever have you. Ben Affleck is an older Batman. He's been through all of this shit, and he's kind of gathered like all of the gadgets and equipment, whatever, that he would have by this time of being Batman. He's not the young within the first couple years of being Batman, whatever have you. So we shall see what everybody thinks. But if it's one of those things, like when I was in the lineup waiting to go in the theater, you could already tell the people who were going to be upset. The people who were kind of already saying like, well, Batman doesn't use guns, or Batman doesn't do this or do that. Like right away I was like, okay, like you're not too familiar with the comics. Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, great comic, and that's where this drives a lot of the inspiration from. And it's also an animated movie. If you guys don't have the time or the resources to read the comic, you can check the movie out on its own. Yeah. So now this is the fan speculation part. If you don't want to hear any maybe potential spoilers or something that may cause you to be like, oh, this is a spoiler, click off now. Stop the video. Stop. Okay. If everyone else has clicked off now, I don't want to be blamed for any spoilers. If you guys are still watching now, this is between us, okay? It's a secret for you and me and the rest of the internet. In one thing of dialogue, we hear Alfred kind of make not like a joke, because it's not one of those like, it's not a jokey movie and stuff like that. But we hear him kind of make like a little sarcastic comment about, well, if only Bruce Wayne had kids or whatever. In this point of Bruce Wayne being Batman, technically, he could have kids right now. They could be alive in that universe. Who knows if maybe he's gone through his love interests with Talia al Ghul, and maybe at that point when Alfred kind of makes the comment or whatever, Damian Wayne could be around right now. If you're not familiar with Damian Wayne, he's Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul's son. Wow, what's the movie? I believe it's actually called Son of Batman, but there's, again, an animated movie and a graphic novel that you guys can go check out. But I think it would be very interesting to see if they do bring that in at some point. Obviously, this is all fan speculation, and this is just me fucking talking, but I thought it was just interesting to hear Alfred say that comment, and right away I thought Damian Wayne. It would be really, really cool to see if we get to see like a Damian Wayne storyline, or maybe even just introduce him into the movie somehow or whatever. Either way, who the fuck knows? That's fan speculation, and maybe it's me just being hopeful. Either way. But yes. Dawn of Justice review. I'm done. Go see it in theaters. It's an amazing movie. If you're expecting, Christian Bale Batman, or it to be like kind of like the Marvel movies where it's upbeat and like kind of some cheesy jokes, it's not that. It's fucking Batman and Superman going head to head, and a lot of other shit goes on. I'm Juvie the Kid. Hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Juvie the Kid, JUVYTHAKID, and check out the other content on the channel. Got tons of other videos for you guys to enjoy, and join the nice little Church of Juvie.